Welcome to This Week with Old Sarge. This week, going back to last century, working at 2 to midnight shift on patrol out there on US 46, White Township, the Big Washes area. Shout out to you guys. So there I was, driving eastbound. Now, this US 46 kind of parallels the river, so it kind of snakes along through there, kind of nice and easy curves. There is no traffic at evening. Woo! It is dead out there. But I'm cruising around, making my loop like I'm supposed to. And all of a sudden, around a curve in front of me going westbound, got us a high roller. He's smoking. Hit the old radar on. Whee! Get that old Doppler, give a look up at the rearview mirror, check 6, make sure I'm clear. He goes by, stomp in brakes, woo, throw that anchor out. Got plenty of room to make a 180. Swing around, 95 Caprice, got her straight in the roadway. Woo, I put the spurs to her. Man, we leapt out of there. Whoa, we're after him. This young man, he didn't want to give up. Want to make me earn it a little bit, I guess. So I'm hurling after him. This car is so fast that I'm driving, I've never lost track of his taillights. We're the only two out there anyway. It's not like I'm going to get the wrong car. And then we're just tootling along, come out of this curve. He comes out on a little straightaway. I see him dump his lights out. Turns them off. Boom. I'm like, woo! You better got yourself one good mental photogenic picture of what was in front of you. You're going to turn your headlights off. But then I see his taillights. He hits the brakes. Kind of gives it away. I don't know why you're going to turn your headlights off. You're going to hit your brakes. Goes up in this little parking area business I'm familiar with there. While I'm right on him. Woo! I whoop up in there, throw the anchor out. Looked like he was going to maybe do a 180 and try to come back out before I got there. And he was going to head back east, and pass me when I was going west. Nah, I was way too close on him. He didn't have time to look in the rearview mirror and see how close I was, I guess. So instead of completing his turn in the parking lot, he just nosed it against the guide rail. I pulled right up here to his driver's door. Got him lit up with the headlights, called in to stop. Make my approach. Told him why I stopped him, speeding back there. So what's the deal with turning your headlights off and jumping up in this here parking lot? He's just kind of mumbling. He's a young kid. Young kid. I can remember back when I was young. I never turned my headlights off, but I've done some things. But anyway, I'm like, you know what? I took his documents and stuff, went back to Troop Car, and I thought about it. I could write him a speeding ticket for the speed I got him at. I could write him a reckless driving ticket for turning his headlights off and dumping off into this little parking lot. Might even be able to kind of sort of arrest him for attempting to elude, turn your headlights off. He's a young kid. I'm not going to do all that. I just decided, you know what? I'm going to write him one little ticket, which is a careless driving ticket. Not the 5 points you get with reckless driving, not the 4 points he was going to get for the speed. So instead of getting 9 points and a huge fine, I'm going to give him a 2-point ticket and a little fine. Figure that will suffice. Walk up there, explain the ticket to him. White Township Court, and I said, I would suggest to you not to go to court. Just pay the ticket. Don't have to go to court. You can just pay it. Send it in the mail. Here's your documents back. Clear the stop. I go my way. He goes his. About 2 months later, sitting down to roll call, my sergeant, he's got the old squad basket out. It's got all the papers and stuff in there, and he's been going through that and going over all the roll call business with us, what's been going on since we were off duty and all that. Passing around the old subpoena log. You had to sign for your subpoenas. So it gets handed over to me, flip it open to, my section there, and got a subpoena, White Township Court. Look at that thing, says 497, blah, 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 ticket number, all that. I'm like, that better not be that kid. Because Judge Houston, that runs White Township Court, is an evil man. He is not prejudiced. He hates everyone equally and with a passion. Not even a trooper will dare show up in his court without having everything wired tight and in a very small bag. You better have your ducks in a doggone row going in there. He was so hard on folks, troopers included. When you walked in there in uniform when court was going on at night, he'd say, "Trooper, stick around to the end of court." And why did you have to stick around to the end of court? Because after all the court was done, you had to walk him out in the dark of the parking lot to his car so he didn't get axe murdered. Let him get in his car and drive away, and then you get in your troop car and go back on patrol. So, you don't want to go to court there unless you have to. So I'm looking at this subpoena and I'm like, let me get my old ticket books out, and I'll find the right number, matches up with the ticket number on the subpoena, and I'm like, look at my notes on the back, I'm like, sure enough, that's that kid. And I look at that subpoena, it says for trial. And I'm like, oh man, I'm in big trouble with the judge, and this kid, he's got no idea what's going to happen to him. Well, all right, so court date rolls around. I'll pull up there at the White Township Court, go upstairs, talk to the prosecutor, says what's the deal with the ticket, tell him the whole thing, and he's like, you only wrote him one ticket? And I'm like, yeah, I know. He's a young man that's just trying to do the minimum, so he got the point, and he's straighten up and fly right. He's like, yeah, good luck with that. I'm like, yeah, I know. This is going to be bad. So trials happen after all the plea bargains are done. So the whole courtroom gets all cleared out, and it's just me and this kid and the judge. I'm prosecuting my own case. Kid's defending himself. Judge swears us both in. Trooper, tell me what happened. So I go write down the numbers about everything that happened. Boom, 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 boom. I get to the part where he shut the lights off and jumped up in the parking lot. And judge is like, stop, trooper. And he starts looking around on his bench up there, what's in front of him. He's, Trooper, I can only find one ticket. Where's the other tickets at? I'm like, oh, this is where it gets bad. And I said, Judge, took into account he's a very young man. I felt that one ticket was appropriate to make a positive change in behavior. And the judge is looking at me. Well, if he had lasers coming out of my eyes, he'd have burned them right through my chest, right through the back of the chair I was sitting in, and out the back of the courthouse building. Woo, he was mad. He was like, oh. He looks at the young fella, the defendant. What do you got to say? Like, kid, I just saying to myself, don't lie, don't lie, don't lie. Because the judge, he knows the area. He's from there. He knows the whole area in and out, backwards and forwards. This ain't his first rodeo. And this kid starts spinning a tale and trips himself up when he's telling it. And the judge calls him on it. And the kid tries to back up a little bit, but nope, ain't no backing up with Judge Houston. Judge Houston's like, I've heard enough. Guilty. He said, you only got one ticket here, but I'm giving you the maximum fine. And I'm like, oh, crap. That number on the back of the ticket, the monetary amount, that's minimal. It can go much higher than that. And boy, did it go higher than that. Judge crushed this young man out. And then when the judge was finished, I walked him out to his car, and he was still mad at me. And I watched him drive away. And then I went and got my own troop car. And thought about being nice to people you don't know. End up stabbing you in the doggone back, so you got to watch out for that. So, shout out section this week. All my B troopers out there doing the JOB, holding true to the oath. We appreciate what you're doing. So thank you. Thank you very much. And you best be keeping track of each other, doggone it. Military, we appreciate what you're doing here at home and overseas. That old professionalism will see you through. So thank you. Thank you very much. So till next week, me and Christmas Pig, bye now.